Hello. Hi, guys. Welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma. We're looking to see if everything's going live for us. This is Bitchcraft, Aurora, and Karma on Karma and Kismet. This is our new podcast. So we're going to be playing with this moving forward Saturday nights and Wednesday nights. Saturday night is going to be Bitchcraft, where we're going to be talking about all things deep and fun. I'm Karma.
I'm Aurora. How are you guys doing?
I hope you guys can hear her okay over on Facebook. I invited her to the live.
I'm working on it.
So let's see if we can get her here. And Nifty Nines is what you are. Invited. So you ever heard those jokes that say two priests walk into a room, or a priest and a nun, or whatever? Two witches walk into a computer store and the whole thing burns down.
It's a fact. Hold on, I think I found it.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if we're coming up on.
I'm like looking behind me just in case my house is on fire, because I feel like it would be. Why is it?
All right, yay, we're live on YouTube. I love it. Good. Okay, so ultimately, I wanted to talk a little bit about who we both are. So I'll just start while she's fucking with shit over there.
You have me. Would I like to be a guest? I would love to be a guest. Is it working?
So I'm Karma. Those of you guys over here on all of my platforms know me very well. I'm an NLP practitioner and psychic. I read tarot. Rory over here has a multitude of other talents that are pretty exciting, and I'm going to let her talk about that for a minute.
I'm super echoed, but I think you just tagged me in. Hi, I do astrology, tarot, friendly bitching at people to get their shit together. I'm new at the streaming, but pretty seasoned with the other stuff. So, I mean, it's gonna be a fun journey together. I'm excited. It's nice to meet somebody that has similar interests in things that I do. I work with herbs. Karma's kind of getting into that. I do astrology. She's getting into that as well. She already does tarot and is actually way better at the rest of this than I am. So we're going to help each other. You guys are going to watch us with the journey.
It is going to be fun, I think. So our Saturday night show is going to be a little bit more dirty.
Yeah, buddy.
And it's fun because everybody sees me on like the whole professional side and stuff. But as far as I'm concerned, they're missing out on half the story because I'm a damn nut.
You're a what?
I'm a nut.
Oh, well, me too, girl. It's all
certified. Good. So Timothy's talking about numerology because I had posted up there about what some of the subjects
love numerology
tap into, and somebody questioned numerology. A couple of the other subjects we talked about, of course. I mean, so Wednesday nights is going to be more of like a teaching thing for those that are wanting to learn some of the new stuff. It's a little bit tarot 101, a little bit astrology, magic, clearing and stuff. But tonight, you guys get introduced to the deep shit first, actually. I didn't really think that through.
Ew. Right? Why not?
Well, no, but truly, because Saturday night, I mean, it's just how it landed, right? Because Saturday night is supposed to be like the late night talk show type shit. We were going to talk about sacred sex in general.
For sure. I don't know if it's actually working on my Facebook, but hopefully it is.
Okay, well, maybe you can share it to your Facebook anyway.
I mean, whatever. At this point, I don't care. Most of my friends have the link to yours because I was prepared for mine not working, so it's all good.
Okay, good, because I do have you tagged, so hopefully that'll help. So for those of you over here on Facebook, you can see the both of us on YouTube. The link is up there in the description. But if you never get there, we'll be paying attention to the chat over here so you can jump on. We do have a plan to be on here. Like, I think we booked 2 hours for it because we can get chatty. But we're going to be here for the duration. So grab a drink. What's your drink, Rory?
Right now, I think that's juice. Honestly, I had Red Bull over somewhere. I have
what happened to the wine? This ain't a date.
I have like half a glass of wine somewhere. I need to go find it.
Never mind.
Listen, it's been a long day. I need wine. I need all the wine. Okay. I need lots of money before I get wine.
I do have my Not Your Father's bourbon.
Oh, jealous.
So this is what went into that bourbon sweet potato pie that I made tonight.
I have
Madagascar vanilla and bourbon Madagascar vanilla and this Not Your Father's bourbon, which was a gift to me for my altar. So appropriate use to take a little bit for the evening. And I don't know what you're calling in, but I call in clarity, tribe, education, and money too. Shit.
Yeah, for real. I claim that. I'm into it. I am working on bringing in patience, acceptance, growth and abundance. So it doesn't have to be money, but I know that I want things to keep growing. And I know if I can at least focus on that intent to start with, then the rest is going to fall into place. I'm going to make it nice and easy.
I like that. However, I've got everything else feels like on lock. I want the money now.
Atta girl. I mean, you've had a little more practice with some of this and you're tired of waiting. I'm sitting there going, I don't even know how to YouTube. I don't know how to make any of this work. Well, I was telling people to sub to me to Twitch and I wasn't even an affiliate. I couldn't do it. People are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know. There's buttons. Figure it out. Like, no. So
if I didn't have Lila, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And a lot of support from people who saw me doing it. But I'll tell you what.
Me too. I got a lot of help.
I've never felt more ready in my life. Like everything feels done now. And it's just like my engine's running. And for those of you over here on my YouTube and my social media, you know that I have been looking to do this podcast and I've been bringing in other players. I want to say for about 2 years, I had 3 or 4 different people that didn't really stick for whatever reason or another. And so here's to you.
Kismet, bitch. That's why.
Kismet. Timing. So cheers. I'm gonna drink my cheers. Straight from the altar, guys. This is holy water.
I did do an aura bath before this. And I did put, I'm not going to say who because apparently I'm not supposed to do it, but somebody made me moonshine and I don't drink it, but I did splash some in my aura bath to really clear everything out. And then I used my Scorpio moon water. I took it out of my little chest I keep it in and I did that. So I had some holy water too.
Can we talk a little bit about aura bath? Because when we first started talking about it, guys, dead ass, like this is some next level shit. Like we were talking.
It's fun.
It is like, so another cool thing about Rory is we met recently and we were tagged in between. And Speak of the Devil areas.
Daniel, are you in here? Because she said Speak of the Devil. It's got to be him. I don't know where any of the other stuff is. I'm just in the Zoom meeting. I'm just saying fuck it today. I'm just like, I'm going to assume.
If you want to go and open up a Karma on Deck YouTube and go and put it on mute, you can pay attention.
That's what I'm doing.
There. So Daniel.
I'm on it, girl.
So Daniel is a friend of mine that I met through a Palladian and Starseed group, and we are both of similar Starseed lineage, and we linked up like soul family immediately. And we've been so we've been texting for like 6 or 8 months and super tight. Like I've seen his in my past life. He was my general. So Daniel,
of course he was.
And so Daniel had said to Rory, unbeknownst to me, he said like, you got to meet this chick. You guys are twins. And he never said a word. And I blew him up like a week later. I was like, oh my God, this random chick just found me on Instagram and she blew up my shit. And he was like, my Rory? I'm like, that you sent her? Like, I had no idea. He didn't tell you anything. Didn't tell me anything.
Yeah, no, he told me the same thing. He's like, so I found her twin on the internet and she makes money. She does what you do, but this bitch actually is known. You need to hook up with her. You guys are a tribe. Link up so you can stop doing whatever you're doing for free all the time. And I was like, okay. And then I found out you were an aqua moon and I was like, oh, all right. Like I dove in a little bit better.
So we're getting to know one another and she's talking to me about these aura baths, right? Hi, Hayes. Hi, Nick. And so I want you to talk about those. He said, I've been you two together. So when she said aura bath, and I want you guys to know that we just now like spent the last afternoon putting this all together so that you can jump on and buy some of these items. And we do have a coupon code because the prices on there are not going to be what you have to pay on the way out. So we do have a coupon code for you guys at the end or during the middle. While she's talking about these items, we'll give you some coupon codes if you're interested then, but right now it's not important. So yeah, they're already built onto the website. So if you miss us at all in this and miss our information, it is built up there. And so he's saying, yep, I'm Gryffindor. So yeah, so let's talk about the aura baths first.
Sure. Those I actually did by accident. So I went to a psychic development class before I went through a divorce, and I had been spiritually pretty janked up from a lot of the lessons I was going through, and it started to feel a little crazy. And somebody actually gifted me the class. They're like, I don't know why, but I feel like you're supposed to go to this, because I was dead broke and my life was a wreck. So I went and I did that. And then once I started doing some of the journeys on my own, my shaman took me on and she told me to do more and more of them. And when I did one, it was telling me to like add weird shit to my tub. And I was like, you know what? The magic is supposed to come from within or whatever. So I listened to it. And for weeks, I'm collecting nonsense out in nature. Like, I'm from the city. I don't even know how to nature. I'm surprised I can be outside. And I started picking all these things up and I'm throwing it into the tub mildly manically. And I don't understand. And I have like a very good journey. I connect with a guide who does like Creole, hoodoo, old traditions. And it was one of the first legitimate experiences I had connecting with spirit using earth as a catalyst to kind of connect myself and try to heal my body. Because chakra stuff was hard for me. Breathing and meditation was hard for me. Sitting is hard for me. I have too many Gemini
Breathing and meditation is such a crock. I always get lost listening to somebody's story.
That puts me instantly in though. Like my brain doesn't even want a story. The visuals come, the knowing comes, the calmness. It's easier to get some of that when you are naturally not good at the meditation bit and naturally not good at listening to somebody's story, because they're creating a vision for you. That's not what you want. Any guided stuff that I've had done, I've only had one person do it where I was comfortable, honestly. And it's because they're projecting an image for you. And spiritually, I don't feel like that's the way it's supposed to work. So I started following that and I looked up what everything meant magically. And I spent months in books for herbalism with real health and what it's doing, and magically what old correspondences were. And I just started trying to make massive connections. And I started like grabbing different things. And it was just weird how it actually worked. So I started making them for other people. My friends were going through the spiritual shift that we were going through. Nobody was grounded. Nobody could connect to themselves anymore. There was so much energy shifting between like Starseed, like people, like in those Pleiadian groups. I was in some Starseed groups and everybody was having the same issues, like nightmares, or their clarity was gone, or they were feeling very anxious and uneasy or angry for like literally no reason. So I started playing with it more and putting things in them that were supposed to correspond to certain emotions or blockages. And I just started being like poetic with my herbs, like when you cook, like just throwing some shit in and then looking later and seeing what I did. And it's like, surprise, you made a self-love bath. Surprise, you made a protection thing. Surprise. And it would fit with what I was going through in that week and in that moment. And I think that's when it kind of solidified it for me. And I was like, more people should have these. I started giving them out. People were telling me it was helping. And I was like, all right, fuck it. Like they look pretty, they smell pretty, it works. Like I'm just going to try to make it a thing. Enough people put them online and nobody else wants to go and spend $4,000 on herbs. I am dumb. I did that. So I had like a giant apothecary and I was like, this is fine. Like, fuck it. I'm just going to make all the things and just be broke. But it was worth it because the connection was.
Here's the thing. And this is part of what we wanted to come together for, because and getting to know her was fun because she said, I always thought I was crazy. And it finally feels good to have somebody pop up that doesn't make me feel like I'm nuts. Mm-hmm. And here's what's cool about all of this is that we've been like walking this walk for a really long time. And as people are popping up with questions, it's getting to be a little bit more mainstream, but there's these problems that come up. And this is where I come in, is because to me, it's like, I have a client, a very dear client, who's gotten kind of screwed. I don't want to use a certain word that begins with a G and ends with a Y, but they like to buy and make you buy things, and shaman after shaman after shaman, and they can't clear something because it's just like a scam, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And yes, so I do.
I really worry about that for people because it can get kind of weird. And knowledge.
Oh, it's a thing right now too. It's big right now. It's gross.
Is really big. And so part of that is I want to teach people that it's A, simpler than you think, and B, no one should ever do magic for you. And
never. It's not safe. You don't want to be attached to people like that. Especially people randos on the internet willing to do it for you. Who knows the fuck they're into? Like
giving an energetic IV to your cause, and I'm never going to be as vested as you are. So that's one of the things I wanted to play with, right?
I mean, that's a really valid point. That should be one of the first things that people take out of this, actually, is that your intent literally is the magic. I'm in all these different groups and I kind of like infiltrated because in the beginning I wanted help. And then I realized, no, I don't want this help because it doesn't resonate for me. All these people are putting their wants, needs, desires. They're forcing fate. They're fucking with people's destiny, and they're putting everything in a fucking jar. And they're like, now this is mine. I'm like, no. Like, wait, guys, that's not it.
Right. But ultimately what that goes to is, like you were just saying, rule number one in all magic is trust yourself. If it feels wonky, don't do it.
Facts.
And secondly, vet your practitioner. Like, make sure you get somebody.
Facts.
Somebody that's either referred or has a background. And I want to talk about that too, because some of these things are so simple that you're paying people ridiculous money for. And secondly, like, where do you start? Like, that's basically what we're going to be bringing in on Wednesdays, is some of the groundwork for some of these things. Like, you can learn astrology, the basics, the trifecta, and jump in right away. You know, you can learn to sage and salt and protect yourself. You can do that right away. And it's a lot simpler than you think. Most of this stuff is done with items around your house.
And that's part of the thing, is I want to share what you can do at home. And I also want to make available the things that you can't do. I want to be able to help with. So like, if you are wanting a whole bunch of things, but you don't know what's going to resonate for you, and you need like a sampling pack of herbs, I'm going to make beginners kits where you can see what plants fit with you. Because when you look at things like ancestry, genealogy, once you start doing your journeying, like, I don't know if you guys see me, but I'm Casper the Friendly Ghost. So I was surprised that one of my first heavy, serious protective guides was a beautiful Black woman in like a sari. Like, it made no sense to me, because I was like, granted, everybody was Black, if we're going to get into like science and history, but that part aside, I was just so shocked. I expected some weird little Irish lady with a potato in her hand going, here's a 4-leaf clover, and this is how you sage. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's nuts. Wait a minute.
So, yeah. Have some whiskey about it. Like, and it wasn't that way. And you guys need to understand where your stuff comes from. You'd be shocked. Listen to it.
Right. So that's what's interesting for me too, is when I went in my meditation, of course, I used practices that I felt were like genetically, you know, my family and my background and whatever. Right. So
I started that way.
Yeah. So I'm Irish too. So I always thought I'd look for the, you know, what do you call them? The Druids, and, you know, all of the Brigade, like all of that
and
shit.
The Druids, the Celts, those guys are motherfuckers, man.
And I got really into that. A lot of my tattoos.
Yeah.
He said you two just vibed out on that. So like, my tattoos are all like, some of them are really Celtic, but ultimately when I started having my starseed visions and stuff, it was way back Egyptian.
Yes, I love that lined up. Bro, same. I was like, I am brown and I'm in the Nile and I'm in the reeds, and I feel like I'm stealing somebody's history. You know, at first I was like, oh my God, I'm tapping into something else. Like, maybe I shouldn't be here. And it took so much, like, making sure I had the respect to think that, I think, was the first step in me opening some of the visions, going, no, more than one thing came from here. I have a ton of Jewish lineage, and I had forgotten so many of the connections between the Israelites and the Egyptians and all of that stuff, and how it's the same.
Tribes too, though.
Yeah.
So that's like a whole night of it in and of itself. So
that's a different night.
That's a whole ass night. But for me, like, when I learned, like, my very first like clear vision where I actually legit saw stuff, the first ass thing I saw was the Eye of Horus being drawn in this like glowing blue flame, like in the movies, like some shit was just drawn like in the air. And then I started seeing ancestors and genealogy that weren't mine, and I saw clothing and the way things were done. And then when I did ayahuasca, it was all the Mayans.
Yes. So my kid wanted to go there. He's a 9 like us, and he's like, I want to go see what the Mayans and the Aztecs were up to. I connect to that. And I'm like, yes, little man, do it.
Yeah, so I see the Mayans. I'm sorry, I'm reading Daniel's Anubis. So I'm
trying word schmerds. You know, yeah, really.
Like, the Mayans, and then I'm seeing like this runway. I'm like, why are these lights so wide on this runway? And then I realized they were the two sides of the Nile, and I'm like, holy shit, that's like a bay, like an ocean. It was so wide. And then I was seeing in color, and Egypt was like Burning Man. I don't know. It was like happy. And
I mean, that's not a bad, I've never been to Burning Man, but I know of the things. Hey, Tim. I think people, they had the wrong translations of religion. So like, if you look at the text, you talk to old rabbis and stuff, the stuff that's in like Book of Enoch and stuff like that, all of it translates so much differently. If you sit and listen to somebody for 5 hours, explain that text in a mildly different perception, it changes the whole fucking story, and it makes a lot more sense. So it was where human ego gets involved that shit gets weird and
right.
shitty.
And so ultimately, like now, what and this is like really trippy. There's a lot of stuff I've looked into. I wouldn't tell anybody I've looked at, but here's what's true.
Same. I'm like,
here's what's true is like now I really like got to dig into the Lilith story, because anytime they demonize somebody, there's some knowledge there they don't want you looking at. So I'm like, there's a lot of things that stories are.
That's where you should look, by the way, everybody.
So you should like double it up, like look twice. And I'm not talking about like look at the devil
see what you see
or anything crazy.
No, just see what you see.
But just like, don't be afraid to look. I mean, first of all, above all, do not try shit that you shouldn't be trying if you don't know what you're doing. But secondly, like go where you're inspired to look. If I was not inspired to follow my spirit and my inklings and stuff, I would have never done ayahuasca, because I was always a purist when it came to substances. I didn't have my first drink till I was 28.
Oh my God, I was the worst. Ask Dan, actually. So I know Dan, not through the internet, but I actually physically know him. Back in the day, I was the goody two-shoes friend that used to make everybody feel bad about like drinking or smoking pot or like smoking cigarettes. And I'm like, you guys, this is so bad for you. Meanwhile, I'm a pain patient and I'm a giant pothead. So, I mean, you guys should know that about me before we delve too much further. I'm a big supporter of medical things that come from the earth versus like opiates. I didn't want to be in a pain clinic. And there's druid connections if we're going to ancestry, to stuff like that. And it was like, I was the friend that did nothing. And the more I delve into spirituality, I was like, I'm going to Peru. Somebody put me on a boat. I'm going to get wicked sick and do ayahuasca. I'm going to cry myself through some really gross shit. And I want to dig in. I want to clear the shit that is like scary. Like nothing is that fucking scary, you guys. Like it really isn't. It's only what you make it.
Truly, like my cousin talked a lot about ayahuasca before I did it. And I told her, if I could hear one more story about her demons and darkness, I didn't want to hear it, because my experience was going to be my experience. You know what I mean?
For sure, yeah. No, you didn't listen.
$30,000 in 20 years worth of coaching. I've looked at enough of that shit ad nauseum. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I'm springboarding onto something better. And my ayahuasca experience was 10 times a different.
That stuff matters though. So like, if we're going to talk astrology for a hot second, we'll dip so people know why they want to do all of the things in conjunction and how it helps them. Astrologically, we set these plans for ourselves. So you did the 30 years and all that money and all that dumping for a reason. Because there's a point in time.
10 years. Do not add
20 years. I'm trying to make you, I'm giving you clout, not age. Clout, not age, baby girl. It is wisdom, okay? I'm just adding extra there. It's your soul. It's your soul did the extra work. You had 10 years probably in a shitty relationship. That shit counts too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, you've been doing this shit since you were little. If you're anything like me, and I'm sure you are, you're a 9. They start as Wheaties. So it's one of those things where every single thing you went through, be it school, marriage, having children, getting bullied when you're little, all of that shit you set for yourself, and that's in your chart. So it matters. You did it for a reason.
What's interesting is because Dan told us we were twins, and like my boo thing, he was like, oh God, that's terrifying. And I said,
every guy I've ever dated is like, 2 of you, I'd rather not. And I'm like, why? I'm delightful.
He said, that's terrifying. I said, for a reason. And he blinked a few times and he goes, for everyone, for so many reasons.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I feel like the only reason it's terrifying is because people very easily take things maybe a little too close to the vest. Maybe if they see you and I shit on each other as equally as we shit on the general public and ourselves, they will be maybe a little more apt to understand where we're coming from, because I've been told the same thing, like I'm a force to be fucking reckoned with, but I'm one of the nicest people I know. So I feel like 2 of me is actually kind of a big fucking deal. Like I feel like that shit's gonna help some fucking people. Let's get serious.
Woo-hoo! So you know, I don't know, I can't even talk right now. What was I just going to say to you? So,
we're not doing tarot yet and angel, but if we do likes and follows and shares and subscriptions and stuff,
you guys do the thing and share, subscribe to
we'll cut cards out.
Like this stuff. There's a couple treats at the end of this too. So he said, you're exaggerating.
On what?
Thing. I wanted to go back to what you were saying just before that, where, we were talking about trust yourself, and then we digressed, which is, I knew we were going to do that.
Well, why not? I mean, that's what other people do. We're following the same pattern everybody goes through, which is think about one thing too much and move on to the other one because it's too hard.
ultimately, that's what I was going to say. Being as twins, like I was the virgin at 18. I
Thank
didn't
you,
have
Angel.
my first drink till I was 28. I didn't have my first O till I was 28. Like I was afraid to try.
You lie.
Look at me now.
Yeah, bitch. I was not expecting that. I didn't have any really good ones until I was older, to be fair. Like I had like what I thought was like legit, and then 28 to my Saturn return. The only thing good about that shit was the sex. Everything else was pretty fucking kill yourself, but that was fucking crushed it. So it's Kundalini awakening and sex and stuff that matters, and I can't wait to talk about that continuously on Saturdays.
All right,
to get people comfy, to get them used to it.
All right, so just for fun, I do want to tell you guys that if we don't get wore out on each other, because we do potentiate quite a bit, I do want to do some double karma readings tonight because we potentiate the shit out of each other. I just want you to know if either one of us take over and start really talking fast, take notes and shit. Number 3, let's talk about some of her products because she promised me that we wouldn't get distracted talking too much and make some things tonight. We were talking about aura baths, but first, like for those of you that are noobs, like don't do this stuff and it's all like new to you, we do have some really cool stuff for you, and that's what we put on the website. We've got some house clearing kits, small, medium, and large. I'll let her talk about that. We've got some of these aura baths, and we've got witch balls. So if she talks about some of these, we can explain it, but an aura bath is like, if you listen to me at all, here's what you'll hear me say. Salt, sage, meditate. Like those are the 3 keys to all your shit, right? Sage is your bitch be gone. Salt is your antibacterial for your hands and your body. And meditation is the voice where you know yourself, right?
That's facts.
So those 3 things are like the core of where you begin. And I promise you keep it simple. But if you just dip this body of yours in salt, go level up, and you mix salt and coconut oil 2 to 1 and you do a scrub. Level 2, level 3, you put some shit in a bath and you do it intentionally on a new moon or a full moon, or you do it before an event like a date night or a new date or a breakup or a makeup, right? These are moments where you do an aura bath. You have like court in the morning, or your husband's coming home from being deployed, you want to do an aura bath. Like there's 1,000 reasons that you would do something like this. And so what I want her to do is
cord cutting,
bro.
That is the biggest thing that I get asked for help with, is shadow work and cord cutting. And if you guys don't do constant cleansing of your aura, especially if you're an empath, you can't get through the shadow work and the cord cutting.
Even when like somebody, you're pissed off at somebody and you're fighting with someone, like literally the action of walking to the sink and pouring salt in your fist with some dish soap does the same magic.
It's intention.
What did you call that? Gatekeeping? Was it gatekeeping?
Gatekeeping is, it's garbage. So people telling you how to do your magic, saying you can only do this like this. I found practices that worked for me from all the things I read about aura baths. Like I do actually use vinegar and salt in my tub to cleanse everybody's energy out of my tub before I sit and soak in it. Because if my kid had a really stressful day, he's on the spectrum, I don't need the extra energy because I already have ADHD and CPTSD, and it just adds to me. So I have certain rituals where I clean my bathroom. My body is clean before I do this stuff. If I'm going to shave, I'm shaved. If I'm scrubbed, I am scrubbed.
For those of you that have a notebook, so here's the trick to, now I can be a bitch if you shave first, but I like to shave.
I do too.
If you're using salt, and like if you put red pepper in your bathtub, like
I do. I put those in the baths. Paprika, crushed red peppers. Fuck yeah, that heats it up.
All right. So if you do these aura baths, and this is a pearl for you guys. So the first thing that you want to do is cleanse your body. So you like want to wash your hair, wash your hands, wash your face, shave a little bit. And then the bath becomes ritualistic because you go in it clean with intention. So 2 words that are important is cleanse before you cleanse and intention.
Yes. And that's what people keep asking me for help, the people that I make them for, because I will sit and listen to somebody and I will custom make them. So if somebody's going through grief over losing their mother, or if they're going through a divorce, or if they're in an abusive relationship, or if they're really trying to get out of a financial rut, I do make different baths because there are different things that hold different energy. The earth holds different energy, like crystals. Plants do the same thing. It's a different vibration. So I will sit and I will add certain things to some and leave stuff out of others, protective things for people that can't do the work themselves internally. And some people don't need that as much. And why waste the plant life? It's another thing you guys are going to have to look at is nature.
It's a whole lot of drama to buy a whole bunch of shit for 1 or 2 practices, especially when you're trying it out and you're just trying to learn. Like we want to provide some really easy access stuff for you. And I promise you, It's gonna be fun. We're even gonna have some kits for you guys. So if you want to buy it, the first kit in the series is going to be the Sage House Clearing Kit, and that's $49. It's gonna have crystals and candles, and it's already ready to go. If you order it, we'll make it. There's gonna be a Sage kit with crystals and candles and an aura bath and all this stuff. And then next month will be geared toward the first of the year, and then it'll be geared toward the Sabbats and SBATs, and then it'll be gifted. It'll be it'll be moving on toward like the solstices and stuff.
Holidays, yeah, that stuff matters. We give sacred thanks to our ancestors and stuff. If you guys are actually practicing, if we're going into the witchcraft aspect, thank you. Gratitude is one of the biggest aspects to your magic, is understanding it. That's great, but thanking the guides that are giving it to you, and thanking nature for doing the bath with you and helping you open up those channels and those spaces, that alone is going to be a catalyst for a ton of people. And that you're not learning in the hoodoo groups and the witch whatever groups. They're going, no, I put 10 pins in this motherfucker. I put some hair and some shit and we're fine. I'm like, no. Like, we can do better, and we're going to do that stuff together. So if you guys like and sub and do the things and follow and tell your friends, you're going to see how easy it is to make your own Florida water and not spend $75 on bogus bodega Florida water. Like, you can order it. If you don't want to sit and do the things, you don't have time, you have 75 jobs, great. We'll have stuff on backup for you guys. But we want the option to be there for people that don't want gatekeepers to learn how to do this stuff on their own. It matters. There's too many witches right now on the come up.
There are too many people on the come up, and a lot of people like really like, I'm making nothing from doing my YouTube. Somebody asked me if I gave away deals or discounts, and I'm like, yo,
this is the discount, bitch. I'm sorry. The fucking me talking shit for 35 minutes, there's your discount because you got something out of it. Well, I bet
you. Ultimately, like, I dedicate 20, just because I know that there's people that don't really understand or know things, and they look for a little guidance, and I pop off. But that's
it matters.
Like 20 hours. But ultimately, I want people to have like somebody they can trust. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's you sharing your gratitude. That's beautiful. That is the point, is to not only, we should get paid what we're worth, but we also do want to give back. And your giving back is you're putting in 30 hours a week out of your life, not with your kids, not with yourself, not doing what you want to do, but helping people get clarity and guidance. And you're doing the opposite of gatekeeping. You're opening up pathways and doors. That is the future. Age of Aquarius, bitches. We are done with the fucking telling us what to do shit. The people with the negative vibrations, if they come, will teach you how to get rid of them. How about that? It's that easy.
Yeah. So, and that's part of like why I became a coach, was like, being a psychic is great, but I got kind of tired of pointing at the pain and not having a skill set to teach people. So ultimately, all of this is for you guys. We're going to play with some different things, and at the end, we might have a giveaway, and we'll do some free readings for you guys when we're done. I'd like to open it up for questions. I did say that there was a question at the beginning. Somebody asked about.
Yeah, I think it was Anthony. He also said my top was cute. So thank you, Anthony.
So Timothy was asking about numerology. And now I'm not an expert at numerology, but
I love numerology.
I understand that. I'm going to leave to you.
I think one of the first things to start with, if you don't want to start with astrology because there is a lot to learn and it can be overwhelming, one of the basics that I used to do when I did hair behind the chair, I was obsessed with it. My clients were like, this lady is crazy. Cause I'm like, what's your birthday? And I'm just washing their hair. And I'm like, tell me all of your personal information. But you can get your life path number. And that is kind of what your soul is on course to experience and master in this time. Karma and I are both 9 life paths, which is the psychic healer. So yeah. So we have 9s, 10 to, I'll give you a synopsis of us, and that way you guys can get interested enough to at least learn your own. You can calculate it yourself if you don't want to. I can do it for you. Pop on one of the pages, do the things, and I will figure it out. But 9s tend to have maybe not a rough life, but they are exposed to a lot. They are so empathetic that they absorb so many things. They either are incredibly self-destructive by being overly social and catering to everybody else, or they are completely introverted because they've burned out their energy completely because they don't understand their empathy or the way that other people contractually kind of give that stuff back and forth. They tend to have incredible emotional and physical and intellectual intuition with people. Some of them can be claircognizant, clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairessence, when you can smell stuff. There's different parts of this stuff that go with it. Some of them are medium, some are not. Like you can have precog and dreams and stuff, but not talk to dead people. Yeah, no, I do all the fucked up shit. So it took a long time to understand that I wasn't schizophrenic versus that I had to tap into gifts. And I've talked to doctors frequently.
Now, huh?
Yeah, no, it's cool when you learn the math behind it, because math in science, my aqua moon loves that. You cannot fake that. When you have a pattern, there is a universal pattern. I am too scientific. Like, I believe in vaccines. Am I getting the next one? No, but I do believe in them. Yeah, so yeah, hot toddy girl, that's magic too. So it's all about what we do, what we're infusing, what we're putting in our surroundings. Never mind the aura bats, but what are you guys energetically putting in your shit? Is it toxic garbage? Are you on Netflix every fucking day watching the same fucking comedy, whatever it is that you've seen 75? Like, growth potential. Where is your shit at? And I aura bath every time I lose my way. Every time I don't know where I am and where my shit is at, that's when I'm like, go make Rory soup. And I just fucking dump. I had apples, cucumbers, lemons, like fucking ground peppercorns and shit in there today. I'm like, if I get a UTI, I swear to God. So far so good on that, by the way, guys. So I mean, for the ladies, you're good.
Hold on a second, girl. I'm sorry. We do need to call one of them Rory soup. You got to have one.
Oh yeah.
Called Rory soup.
Oh, and it's the kitchen sink is going to be one of them, because the one I normally make is literally like 75 fucking herbs. I made the list and I was like, I don't even know how to fit this on a label. I can't make this a business model, because how do I tell people what's in this and give them all the magical correspondences to them? And that's the universal bath, that your intention matters more than when I put in it, because it's a little bit of everything. But when it's specified, you only do those. It's more powerful.
You should have a list, like, you know, when you go and you buy like fucking rice and it's made in a peanut butter factory and it's like peanuts are processed in this facility.
May contain everything.
We're going to put a list that says it has everything.
If you have an allergy, don't fucking use me, because I can't get sued. I'm not having time.
We'll make a list with all of the lists, all of your shit. Like, I don't care if it's dog toenail. Like, we're gonna write it all on there, and then you can just check it off on each thing.
Well, I collect crab shells and I grind it up, because I don't do hexing, but I do utilize hoodoo, because it's actually really beautiful.
What did you say?
I said I don't do hexing, but I do hoodoo, because I find it very beautiful. So if you actually find the old roots to that versus the way they burned witches and smart women and scientists everywhere. But if you look at the way that animals and zodiac and stuff corresponds to stuff like Cancer in the zodiac, the crab, the way that it protects. In hoodoo, if you put a reverse crab shell at your door, it helps reverse hexing on your house or your home. It helps make people leave that would be sideways to you, because they walk side to side. So if you're turning it a different way, it's reversing that energy. If somebody is side to side and not full force forward with you, it makes those people either more apparent or whatever. When you make things like hot foot powder or protected black salt, you crush up crab shells. How many of you guys are going out combing for the beach and putting that shit in your mortar and pestle? Because I am. So that's the difference in the aura bath.
So for religious practice and stuff too, like so here's the thing. Ow, I just pinched my finger. Ow, I'm such a klutz. Are you a klutz, Rory?
Oh God, my mom nicknamed me Grace, by the way, and it wasn't in a cute way. It was like, I will trip over air. It's like I choke on nothing. I'm a fucking wreck. I look around my house. I don't do this because I break cameras and computers.
So here's what's the cool thing for me is, so like my religious path has been all over. I've been looking for answers since I was little. Like I've been looking for answers. I became LDS. I studied the Catholic Church. I studied the Baptist Church. I mean, I actually got baptized Baptist after LDS just so I could wash it away. But
that's an aura bath, honey. That's intent again. It's the same shit.
Right. And so like there's a lot of like, I don't want to get distracted by that. But anyways, I did study a lot of different religions because I was looking for the template. And I think that's what I was so pissed off about, was like, you told me to do it this way, and this was the result I would have get it, and fuck your results. I wasn't getting what I said. I wasn't getting the peace from prayer and being meek and being humble and being chaste as shit. And I'm so sick of it. Right. So I kept searching, but here's what's true. And this is my goal right here. Practical magic. It doesn't matter what you believe. Sage is still a sacred, you can create sacred space by burning sage, just like I can do with Nag Champa. Burning candles and putting things in a certain pattern creates
Yes,
what we call
crystal grids.
muscle memory, right? And so there are techniques that I do that I literally have stuck to. Like, this is a pagan thing, and I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm supposed to face northeast. I'm supposed to be facing east, but why am I aiming this way? So later on, I found in Raw material, Raw talking about 20 degrees northeast.
Yes.
Thank you.
It goes with astrology,
Yes.
bitch. I was just about to say that. Math matters. So the connotation that they teach you, again, like with religion and Catholicism, it doesn't quite suit up. Nobody knows why they're facing northeast. When you add all of them together, they are all a piece. It's on purpose because the people that follow this have to click them all.
And this goes back to rule number 1, trust yourself, right? Because I just kept like shifting and shedding those ideas until I let go of everything. And then it seemed like as soon as I let go, which is counterintuitive, right? Then things started going bing, and then that domino would knock down and bing, another one would be right behind it. And I would just chase them. And I'm telling you what, I got a lot of things that work. Yeah. And this stuff is all like, I know how to do it, but she knows how to explain it. And that's why she's here.
Magic blending is beautiful, and I was very afraid of it because I was in so many different groups, and like as the pale, very Irish girl in the hoodoo cliques, they're like, why are you here, friend? We need to know. And you know, they go peep on my page and they're like, okay, wait, she's screaming. Yeah, honey, like, we appreciate that you like this culture, but like, what do you know about that life? And I'm like, listen, okay, I was the only white person growing up in my school, my apartment building, my neighborhood. I know racism to a degree. It's not going to be the same type of racism, but I can understand something. And I'm like, and my roots are dragging me here. And the thing is it was such an inclusive, beautiful group that they were like, girl, if your roots bring you here, come with us. Like, and most of the people were amazing. And it was like, yes, it's
really
just they're lost.
My really close friend, Shola, he's a sensei of mine, and I can see what he's doing if I don't pay attention, tap into him. I'm just like, you're buying flooring. He's like, how do you know this shit?
Yeah.
But, so Shola is Nigerian, and I had all these visions and shit, and he's Yoruban. And so I had called him up. I'm like, I'm seeing shit. And he goes, let me ask my mom. And he goes, my mom will not talk to me now.
Whoopsie. You got into it.
Because that's what I saw. I mean, like, I literally saw, and then I got into some witchy groups, and I started to see like other people's altar. And I literally had to find what it was that I saw in order to Shola. Yes. So Shola, like, you know, when I asked him all of that question, he's like, I can't ask her that. She won't talk to me now. But like, literally, I could see altars, and I could see how they were set up and what to put on them. And then I was in witchy groups, and I was like, what is that? What is that? And I just went with what I saw and with what felt right, you know?
Yeah, no, well, and that's the thing is, every time that I started to feel lost, I would contact my shaman. I would be like, I saw her did this. And the thing that I liked with her is, she's a Capricorn like you are. She's very grounded. She's like, okay, you're thinking too much, darling. Like, you know what I mean? Like, slow down. And she will bring me back and go, what were you doing when you did this? And I'm finding my space, and I'm looking at my journey. And it's always where I'm safe and comfortable. And in those moments, that's what you trust. And that was a big thing for me to listen to, was that I was listening to intellect versus my intuition for a long time. And that will fuck your magic up. Stop listening to intellect. Stop looking at the shit you learned. Listen to everything you learn and make a toolbox.
Say that again for the people in the back.
Which part? Make a fucking toolbox. Like, you pull from everywhere. You listen to your gut and not intellect, because I am a giant fact type person. I like proof. I need pictures of that shit did not happen. You need to show me, like, I need numbers. I need a fucking pie chart and shit. And it doesn't work that way.
Literally, like, that's what I was searching for, was the answers through all of these chasings that I did. And, you know, ultimately, it's very simple to just trust yourself and just keep, like you said, don't come from intellect, because it will fail you. And that's different than being exact with like aspects in astrology. Because like, after I had my vision, 2 separate individuals, Rochelle Thompson and then my friend Derek, and I can't tell you his name because he's famous, but they both walked into my shop and said, hey, I was told to come see you. And they were both Yoruban priests and priestesses. When my Babalao walked in, he goes, I was told you were supposed to see me. And it was the day that I'd had that vision. And so that's another thing. Another pearl number 2 is that I discovered that you don't look for signs and chase signs. You make a decision,
let them find you,
and then you look for the sign without. So after I've made a decision like about this, like now I need to really research this, it begins to show up for me. I don't go, look, there's a feather, and then look for angels. It's the other way around.
Yes, so you ask for the marker. Yes.
Pearl number 2.
Pearl number 2, look for the marker. So ask for the marker. You ask your guides when you guys are unsure and you're in these groups and you're asking strangers on the internet for their wisdom. You have no idea where they are on their journey. Stop asking those bitches. They don't fucking know. Their baby daddy is playing with them too. They already put 6 bitches in a jar and nothing is working. They have somebody's semen sitting in the freezer. Like, stop listening to these people. Listen to you. Say, I want to go outside and find a rock. And you go find the fucking rock. Do it.
And that is kind of part of the reason why I've gotten away from doing free readings and doing the live readings for question and answer, is because I don't want to be the source for your answers. I want you to—
where is your work?
Your source for your information. And so ultimately I want you to have tools to go out and do that and then recreate this. And the other thing is, like, what are you doing going on these free lives, getting people that are like $10 free readings, or I'm just practicing? Are you nuts? Like, seriously.
Well, I mean, I was giving stuff out because I looked too much into my astrology chart. So here's one thing: when you guys do get into astrology, or if you're already looking, you have to look at this stuff as free will matters so much in magic, in astrology, in timing, in religion, in spirituality to any degree. Your choice matters.
That's a whole subject. We can do a whole subject on free will.
So follow that week, whatever week we fucking put that one up. Put bells on everywhere. Go to twitchtv.com too and follow both of us, because we're going to host each other and do different things. And if we're up in the middle of the night talking about this shit, you guys want every platform. You don't want to just follow this one. You want to find us on, because we're going to have gold nuggets randomly and be like, that bitch asleep, or she's getting dick, or I'm fucking busy here and I got 6 bitches that need a fucking reading and I can't talk to you today. And the other person is going to be in their spiritual shadow work and they're going to come up with a fucking gem. And if you guys are only looking at one platform but you like the way we talk, please follow us on the other ones. We have Facebook, we have Twitch, we have YouTube, we have Insta. Go do the things so you can find all of the information at one source of it.
Ultimately, we're going to have this, and I know this sounds like a lot, guys, but ultimately we're going to have this on Patreon. And I haven't decided, is it Patreon we decided?
We did, but then we took it off today. So we were looking at other options.
Here's the deal. We're going to have 3 separate platforms. We're going to have one platform with 3 options. You're going to be able to come on and you're going to be able to go to all the BS and deep talk on the Bitchcraft section. We're going to be able to do tarot instruction and astrology on another, and then we're going to do practical magic on another. And then you can come in and you can access all of these classes, because ultimately we want to catalog these so that while we're talking about them, they're useful to you. So that's ultimately, it's like our little encyclopedia of subjects. We are going to have guests.
Yeah, we are. I have so many, I've been bothering so many people lately. I'm like, listen, there's one thing I find beautiful about the way that you have an outlook on life. Will you come and sit in my room with me and talk with my friend online? Like, and I have people saying yes. I had talked with one girl about race and relationships and being in a certain area where you don't fit in versus like males connecting to their divine feminine. I have all these different people with all these really awesome qualities. And I think that all the people that feel lost, if they see somebody that has all the same stuff and they see people in their power like we are, where we're comfortable and we're big upping these people for things that other people see as weak, and they can kind of get that comfort range and start digging into their own stuff, I think it's going to be helpful.
Well, I'm excited about all of it. I've been
waiting for
a while. What was I just going to say? I don't know, must have been a lie.
Do you want to, I'm going to grab my cards real quick. Do you want to do a couple of those, because we're over an hour on this and I do want people to actually go and like the platform. So I'd like to get some of the stuff we said we were going to do. If you guys go and book stuff on Karma's page with either of us, I will do a drawing later. So as many people that book readings or have paid purchases, I'm going to be putting names into like a situation, and I'm going to be giving out free kits that are worth over $120. They're easy. They're for you to set up some of your own altar work. They're beginner smudge kits. They have crystals in them. They have jewelry and talisman in them. They're going to be assorted, but we have a couple to play with. So if we actually see people that are interested in doing the work and they're going in and they're putting their resources and their time and energy into doing some of this stuff, we're going to do the giveaways with it. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, go do the things. She's better with the tech, so we'll put links in stuff.
See, it's a perfect marriage. So yeah, all right. So we do have our cards out. So if you guys want a reading from Aurora over on my YouTube, please jump on there. We're both gonna do some readings for you now. So if you have any questions for us, and it doesn't just have to be a reading. It can be any kind of question that you want. It can be some subjects that you want us to talk about moving forward. Like the soulmate twin flame. Why you never do a fucking love spell. Like, my God, like, do you know how many people ask me for that shit? And I'm like, if you knew, I always tell them the secret. Do you know what the secret is? That if they really want them to come back, I do a cord cutting. You know they do. As soon as they feel it, you got to be steadfast. Look at her over there in her little cupboard. A witch in the cupboard. Can you guys hear Jameson snoring? He's snoring on my feet like a grown-ass man. I feel like we should have some mood music. Oh, that's the only thing that I don't like about YouTube is they send time I should warn people about that. I think she just burned herself. Well, it fluxes. So yeah, lots of fun. So post your questions and we will begin to do some readings for you. I think she's going to grab her cards. So jump on and let us know. Priscilla's saying, yeah.
Where's your wine, Karma?
My line?
You got the wine?
Wine? No, I got this whiskey from Laura from my altar.
I can't hear you. Don't answer me. Hello, puppet.
That's why you couldn't hear me.
Yeah.
So I was talking to myself apparently for like 10 minutes. I was talking shit about you burning yourself or whatever the fuck you were doing.
Okay. So if I make smudge kits for you guys, one thing I will have you know, the reason juniper is so protective for the Celts and the Druids, and it's burned for like hex removal and all this shit, it hurts. You guys should use gloves or caution when breaking it up. And I use huge sprigs of it. I'll hang some over my door, but I do burn it to completely erase anything that is dark, that doesn't match the vibration that I want. So I can be very, very clear. I love juniper for it. 1 for the smell. 2 for it's sparkly when it burns, and it makes like a big, like, I'm a Gemini. It makes a dramatic fire. And I feel like it's extra. So I'm like, I'm going to try to do it now without burning my house down. So as we cleanse, when you were talking to yourself and you were talking shit about me hurting myself, which was funny, I'm sure. As I threw a piece in my bed, I'm going to sit on it later. It's going to suck. What were we saying besides readings? We got anybody that said yes?
No, not really. Nobody's really.
Is Dan in? Dan, are you still here?
I don't know. He said something about, that we were talking about us texting, how fast we text and whatever, but
that was a hot minute ago.
Good time. Did you guys enjoy yourselves? Like, I don't see very many people playing, and hopefully we'll get some more promo to it. But just so you know, this was practice. So I think we're doing damn well for practice. Curious to see how long this can go on before we get censored and spanked.
Oh, yeah, no, that's why you guys are going to find us on other platforms. That's another reason I keep preaching that so much, is it's been not unfrequently that I've been banned off of Facebook for one thing or another, usually for standing up for anti-racism, anti-Semitic shit. But in any case, make sure you find us on YouTube, go on Karma's, go on mine, do the things where we're going to be in a lot of places, just in case we're talking some risky stuff. So, ooh.
I love being risky.
I made sure.
Remember that meme that I sent you today that I said, you don't have to burn yourself to the ground to keep other people warm, but turn the fucking heat up and make them uncomfortable.
Yep. I love making people uncomfortable. My aqua moon just wants to like poke. I just want to like see what the fuck made them tick. Like, why are they like that? So, and underlying on that is me being childish or challenging, which is not untrue. There's my shadow work. Is should you pick at people? Probably not. You don't know who you're picking at.
That's why I always love big men. I love the big Hulk.
Well, because they're not afraid of us. So it's one of those things where we can be pushy and not be feared or told that we're too much. And then we look at ourselves differently. They enjoy our power. Typically, they're not that worried about it.
No, but there's something about a mean mug and getting in that face. So, all right, who's got some questions for me? I'm not talking to myself anymore, guys. Hi, Rich. Hi, Priscilla. What's going on, guys?
Be platonic and use your technologies in reversal, so you guys are not utilizing us appropriately, or I should be looking at something.
Look, yo, if you guys want us to keep going, it's got to be worth it. So at least
facts. I got stuff to do. I'm hungry. Like,
at least bring people to hang out with us. That's all for now.
What do we got going on in here? We got 5 in Facebook, it looks like. One of them might be me, so we'll see.
6 on YouTube, but
I mean, 11 people's cool. Why is nobody talking?
All right, we got one. We got a Brian Portlock.
And Priscilla. Thank you, Priscilla.
She said, I love your vibes. Ryan's saying he's mad stressed.
Yeah, well, that's in the cards for everybody a little bit. Lots of shadow work in the cards right now. Learn grounding and protecting techniques, but I'm going to try to pull 3 cards for Ryan while you're talking to people.
This boy better have his clearing and saging technique.
I have Sag vibes instantly. Ryan, what's your sign? So if it's not Sag, it's adventure, running away. You care what people think, bro. I have something big coming up. Can you see it? I saw 3 different things, so I'm going to let you take that one.
Birth time, Ryan. Text me your birth date and time. I think you said yours wasn't on there.
Where? What?
He doesn't know you.
I mean, that's fair. I'm creepy as shit. Don't send me your information. I could rob you. That's good thinking, Ryan. Well done.
It's a him, and I'm telling him to send it to me. That's my son.
Oh, hey.
That's why I said he.
Ryan, tell your friends. I just saw him the other night. I'm bad at this game. Sorry, guys. Okay. Is he a Sag? What's his birthday?
His birthday's in June.
He's a Gemini or a Cancer?
That's why I said I need his information, because I'm curious if that Sag energy has something to do with his moon.
Yeah, they healed this time is different. Listen. Who are we talking about? Who's stressed? Work related. That doesn't feel right. That might be karmic. Yes. Okay. Well, that's better for me to do it. Is that actually your kid? Love yourself, see your beauty. Don't let them define you. For me, usually goes with solar plexus. So either creativity or something somebody said to you sticks so hard. If it's karmic related, it could be work in a relationship. Somebody says you don't do something the right way, or it could be work where you're not getting your accolades and the stress is there so heavily that it's affecting your actual like self-worth. In reversal, karmic connection. So it could be a past person. Somebody think about a lot, either a karmic, a soulmate, or a twin flame, or a past life connection that you're already walked away from, but they're still affecting you.
I know exactly what that is.
Ayo! Yeah, whoever that bitch is, tell her to fucking sit on one. In reversal, they're staying away, don't wait for them. So either you're waiting for them to come back, or they keep coming back being a total douchebag. Going like, I'm going to change, and breadcrumbing you. Like, hold on.
Who's breadcrumbing you, Ryan Portlock?
Yeah, who's breadcrumbing you, Ryan? Play with us. All right, in reversal, stagnant, no more options to grow. You or someone else think there's a chance that somebody can change or do better. So I don't know who that is, but we'll see.
Okay, so Priscilla Trujillo, Ryan, is that answering your questions, bro?
You're 2 days after me, Priscilla. Someone wants to communicate, incoming message, new information. Hey, Priscilla, how are you doing? These ones I made, they help me when I get off track, because then I notice stuff like that, and I always look at my streams. You do Priscilla. Okay, I'll pull 3 cards while you go.
Ultimately, what I'm seeing for you first, though, is overwhelm. Like there's a financial component to this that's making you feel a little bit undecided. And you keep pulling information indicated by the Hermit card. The indicated that there's this list and litany of things that you have yet to do. And you're feeling a little undecided, but your intuition is telling you that you need to move forward with something. But ultimately, your biggest thing, Priscilla, is that you're more concerned about how things are getting done. And this is a big issue lately coming up in my life everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like you're more worried about how things look than like getting them done. And you're worried about how like messing up and failure. And you've not had people have your back. Like when these things push come to shove, I'm seeing this 9 of Cups. And then this one right here, this is the 10 of Swords, which has to do with betrayal. This is you not happy. And ultimately like 2 directions, and there's also overwhelm. And the reason why I say that this has to do with image is because we have the Queen of Wands here, which has to do with, she's wearing gold. Like we call her the bougie bitch. Okay. So the bougie bitch like cares that her nails are done and her hair is done. I'm not saying that that's exactly what you're talking about here, but ultimately
I care what people think.
Embarrassment, you know. And I do see that I don't know if it's analysis paralysis, but we have the hermit card, and in this particular hermit card, he's got books and knowledge and things to inspect, right? And so as he's inspecting these things, he gets so much more overwhelmed that he doesn't know which direction to go. And ultimately you're being told, first of all, you want to hear your message? First of all, don't be stubborn. Number two, speak what you want. A lot of times we don't even say what we want. We fuck ourselves up, right? Sorry for cussing. But ultimately we have like this whole, well, I didn't know you wanted to go to Hawaii. I thought you wanted to go to Boynton Beach or whatever. And you're like, no, I said beach. I didn't say I wanted to go to like Myrtle Beach, you know? So it's like speaking to what you want. And thirdly, trust your intuition. I think that's a beautiful like set of advice for that, because I don't think you do any of these things often enough.
The lost item is the intuition. Everything she just said sticks. Your underlying thing that did this was love. So if it's not romantic, it's however you get it, your children, your family, whatever, your friends, socially, it doesn't matter. The thing you lost though is like the way somebody looks at you. So the way she is saying you care or something is being affected. It's not so much the bougie thing. It's, I think, pulled together. It's like you want to be seen. There's strength here. There's addiction in reversal. So you've left something or you're trying not to be a certain way. Libra in reversal, something's leaving you imbalanced. Secrets hidden in reversal. I think you found something out that put you in this vibration. Codependent in reversal. So you're no longer relying on your friends, your family, your partner to tell you how you feel. You're getting back the lost item. And if it comes from love, maybe it's self-love. Does that fit for how you were feeling with your stuff, Karma?
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean like bougie. That's just the Queen of Wands.
No, but yes, I love describing that bitch like that. She is fucking extra. She will also fuck up your day if you are mean to her. So it's not somebody you want to fight with either. There's a lot of ways to describe that bitch. I love describing the regular tarot that way. That's why I had to make these, is because I was just putting out the harshest shit, because I have certain ways I see my queens and my kings. And I was like, I need to know.
Like, ultimately, I tell people, like, they're all just the kind of expertise. I like to talk about the court cards being like of developmental phases of each kind.
That's a great way to look at that.
You know, because it's like a 12-year-old has no idea what the fuck they're doing. A 15-year-old thinks they know what they're doing. A queen does things and a kid gets.
Emperor and Empress. Yeah, that shit fucking follows. That's accurate as shit.
Like, if you just translate the kings and queens, and an emperor and empress don't rule together, they rule alone. How simple is that? I'm all about.
I always forget that, if I'm being really honest. Whenever my spreads pop up and I have one of those motherfuckers in reversal, I'm like, why? And I'm like, oh, y'all are both in control. Like, it's a problem. I get it now. Like, that's a really good way to remember that. Is it an idiom? What is it where you use something to remember something? Not that. Something.
I don't know, but I read it somewhere. And here's the thing.
I like it.
I have devoured a metric shit ton of books on paganism and witchery and all this shit. And what I found is 90% of it is dogma. It's the gatekeeping of knowledge. You do it this way and only with this permission, and you have to be initiated. I was terrified to do anything for years because I was told that you had
self-gatekeeping. You self-gatekept or whatever. You put your own gate up because of what you learned. And that's what almost all of us do.
And so, like, going through all of the different books, like, and I was a paramedic and a field training officer. I want to teach you how to do it right so that you don't screw it up later and you create good habits. That is ultimately still how I operate. It's like, I want you to have it simple, and I don't want you to waste your time, because I think one of the things I resented the most was the amount of money and time that I wasted on these like 80 pages of like the solitary witch book was useless shit. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow.
Yes, I do know. I have 75 of those books and they're trash. I learned all of it within 3 minutes on the internet by myself. Not worth it.
So, like, maybe I should write a book, but then there's another one out there. But ultimately, it's like, it's more simple than you people think. And I'm talking to people that don't do these things.
Hi, Alicia. How are you? I feel like everybody's got bad energy now, honey.
So ultimately, I will say that the last couple of days, there has been some really heavy energy. I think 2 nights ago, there was some intensity where I was like, yo, everybody protect your family, stay in. Like, I don't know, I had some weird days with that.
No, I did the same. I was messaging a lot of people going, salt your windows, don't ask questions, leave me alone. I'm messaging 85 people, like fucking Looney Tune.
So I did that the other night too. Like, I call it roll call. I'll text everybody, go roll call. My kids are like, oh, yo.
Woohoo!
Yeah. I'm not so crazy now. It's cool because like I was the nutbag for the longest time where I was just like, oh my, nobody else sees these things or does these things, and I kept it all secret. And it's not like mainstream,
weird. I get it.
More accepted, you know.
Well, look at our communities changing and shifting. Race, sexuality, caste system by money. Everything is changing. Everything. Relationship statuses, monogamy versus polygamy, being a slut versus being chaste, being open, all of it. It's all shifting. It should, as it fucking should. It wasn't working.
And, you know, like even when we get into talking about the dating and the sex and the sacred sex and all that energy stuff we were talking about, it's like
stop letting losers in.
Right, but ultimately, like dating really has changed. Nobody does the picket fence and getting married to raise kids. We fit you in where we have time and space.
And it's so sad and practical.
People are expecting more. There's like a polarity. There's people expecting more, and there's people that are doing less, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Ultimately, the pool's getting smaller and smaller, but I'm like that song, Man, by JoJo.
Yes.
Doing it on my own and shit. Mm-hmm. Handling it. I'm loving it.
Yep.
And then she goes, damn. I need a man. I'm gonna need a fucking man. That's what she says. I'll post it.
But well, anyway, and the thing is like we are the divine masculine and feminine. No one's saying partnership doesn't matter. We love having partnerships. We love having community and connection. But where is your
less and less important when you are balanced?
Mm-hmm. Ta-da! When you don't give a fuck, the codependency shit melts away, and you guys have no idea if you're currently codependent. No idea how freeing that is. If you are in an abusive relationship, if you are in a situation that makes you uncomfortable, if you people please, if you always ignore that voice, you have no idea what it feels like to literally let that shit go. Except that motherfucker maybe couldn't love like you could love. Your friend maybe couldn't see things the way you could see. Your boss maybe didn't see your potential. Fuck them. When you let that go, move on. Do better. Do better than all of them. Get revenge that way.
I just wrote a blog on my webpage that was a challenge by my partner Moxie, and she was like, I want you to write this story because it's one that I tell often and it's so important to me, but it was called Just Show Up. It was like my life coach hanging up on me and shit and pushing me to the walls because I was just so stuck in my mentality, and I really had to learn to shift. Now I'm a beast at it. Like I could go anywhere naked. I don't care if it's church. I'm like, well, it's necessary.
How long did that shit take you? You had to put the work in. You had to fucking sit every day. Look at yourself naked. Sit every day. See yourself. See your insides.
I had a coach that made me get out of my ambulance in uniform in the middle of a Target parking lot and scream, I'm excited, and jump as high as I could 3 times by leaving the phone inside the car. And if again, the only thing is it's not about learning how to do it. It's just doing it. Like
releasing. Yes.
Right now, my kids and I will turn around and say, right now, everybody's saying, I'm excited if somebody's in a bad mood because it's physiology changes your attitude. And that's
like hiccups and sneezing. That shit's contagious.
Yeah. Physiology can change your mood. So once I learned that with the violent and heavy depression that I had dealt with, the violent life and heavy depression, there was a lot on me. But once I realized that turning on some music, jumping up and down, putting on your makeup, changing your environment, physiology works, guys. It's cheap. It's simple. It's free. Yep. Sorry.
Absolutely, Alicia. Yeah. You want someone to grow with, not that you grow for them.
The deal. Are we wrapping up now, Aurora?
Yeah, I think so. We did 121. That was perfect timing. I love the duality of that. New beginnings, working with others, and new beginnings. Join us on our new beginnings on that time thing.
And now you guys have a good idea of what we're like, what you have to look forward to.
A lot.
I'm going to be posting a bunch on Karma on Deck on the Facebook page, the Instagram, and videos on the YouTube. But what I would like from you guys is like, share, subscribe, and feedback. I want to hear what you want to talk about. I want some feedback on what you think we covered, how you think we went, and share it so that we have more content. And make it worth it for us, like more people to talk to and like get our audience a little wider, because now we're really starting to want to play. And we're going to be having some giveaways. I'm not quite sure what that's going to look like yet. But you guys all know how to reach me. This was our test run, and I think we did not so bad. But next time we'll have some more platforms that we're more excited to play with. So Wednesday night is Practical Magic, where we'll be doing some breaking open some subjects for you guys there. So like I said, do the work for us, a little legwork, get some more people to come play with us for now.
Before we sign off, just because Alicia was like involved with us, I wanted to give her 3 cards before we sign off real quick because I did notice that, and we do appreciate it. We see you guys. We're not asking for all the help and not looking. So I have
a sage kit for family, I think, for her aunt. So she was asking.
Yes, Priscilla, definitely. We will get back to you on that. I have a couple made right now, and I'm sending them out before Christmas. So if you want to order one, let me know. We have dreams, premonition, and psychic ability. I really feel that could go also with a Cancer as a sign, but again, it's your intuition. We have addictions. Addictions are affecting this planned detox. I don't think it's addictions. I think it's thought process. You're addicted to a certain way of thinking, or like a social concept. And in reversal, stop blaming them. Take responsibility for your actions. I think you've taken responsibility for your actions, and you're angry other people haven't. And I think that's the spot that you might want to pay attention to, is that it doesn't matter if other people haven't. Like, that's their work, their problem. Let them not do it. You go do your thing and move on. I don't know if that helps, but I hope it does.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you guys for hanging out.
I'm waiting to see for her to respond. I think that was for her. She said thank you. All right, guys. If there's nothing else, like I said, we're going to post these as events. We're going to share them.
It'll tell everyone.
Yeah, this is going to be
everyone.
I don't know. Are you guys excited as I am? Because I'm excited too. So thank you so much. I will catch you guys on the flip side. And
thank you, Karma, for spending your time and energy here with me tonight. I appreciate you, though.
It's Kismet.
It is Kismet. It's Kismet and Karma.
Thanks, guys. Love and light. Catch you on the flip side.
Bye, guys.
All right. Let's see how I can close this.
I'm like, should I leave the meeting? Do you want to be by yourself when you're logging off? How are we going to do it?
No, so I'm going to have to. Yeah, you can leave the meeting. I got to figure out how to shut it down, because last time we did this shit, it streamed for 9 hours, but it only went for an hour. So
fun. I think that might have been me. I took your ingest thing off of Streamlabs because I thought it was fucking with it. So
all right, guys.
The second you message me.
So much. Like, subscribe, and share. We're gonna have a giveaway for.
It says it ended already.
We're gonna.
We're on YouTube.
Yeah, we're still on YouTube.
Oh yay! Okay.
All right, so that's it. Good night.